Now, we are on the air. This train wreck is live. Let's see. Do we have any contact with anybody in the chat room yet? Don't all jump in at once.
Hey, I'm not going to go on the chat room because my computer's going to freak out.
Yeah, let me go over here. I'll do it on the iPad that's not connected to my computer. And
I'll pull it up, yeah.
don't you do it, Steve. It'll
Why?
crash
Why?
your-
Yeah, because it'll crash your computer like it always does.
Yeah, good
and
point.
then you duck out right as
Right when I'm introducing
Oh, Oklahoma, where the...
yeah. Wait, oh, Steve's gone again.
Hey, it's been happening less frequently, but still at least once a show.
The best was last weekend. Jeff played all the wrong theme songs. Did you guys listen to the show? It was so bad.
Not all of them wrong, just most of them.
Yeah.
It was the Pope John Comedy Hour.
Brought to you by Angela.
Okay, Mike and Lynn and anybody else there, let me know how the levels are. I mean, are our volumes somewhat even? Because I noticed that the volume for mine was kind of on the low side compared to everybody else's on the Hangout.
I've been trying to reduce my volume for years.
Me too. Well, I guess I shouldn't complain.
Do I sound hot if I get close to the mic?
Yes.
Angela. Oh no, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. We're on public air. Dang it.
Yes, you do. And who's Mike?
That's a good one.
Scandalous.
Oh, speaking of that, it's Mac Barron's birthday.
Oh!
We need to rag him a little bit.
How can we grill him somehow? What's the word? A grill.
Roast.
Roast.
Roast, grill, broil,
Roast
bake.
grill.
Bake. Baste and bake.
We should just cold call him, see if he's awake at 9:30. Or 10:30 his time.
That'd be fun.
I'm sure
Can you
he's
do
awake.
that, Jeff?
Yeah, I could probably do it by starting Skype over here on this machine.
Crank call. Yo, aren't we gonna crank call somebody one day? Like, we need to have a crank call show where that's what we do. We crank call
That is
people.
brilliant.
Like,
Although you know it would totally not work. Like
Whatever.
the one day we want to try.
We can try
Nobody
it. We
answers.
can try it.
did you ever hear Roy D. Mercer on the radio? He
Yeah.
was always famous for doing that kind of stuff, but it was not safe for work environment.
Ours would be very safe for work.
This is Roy D. Mercer.
I'm gonna
I
kick
don't
your
figure out
butt.
how to do this.
Hey, is your refrigerator running? Better go catch it.
Not one of the better things to come out of Tulsa.
Keep talking.
And my power just came back, by the way.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Holla.
Tommy, how's that third world country doing for you down in Florida?
Florida. El Florida.
Yeah. Florida?
Flew right.
Oh, gosh.
There's a town in West Texas called Floydada.
Really?
Is there really?
It's up in the Panhandle,
Oh, that's why I didn't know.
like around Lubbock. Floydada.
Lubbock.
Lubbock, Lubbock, Texas.
I
Had a
worry
great time
about
in Texas last weekend.
sometimes.
They taught.
Yeah,
fun
there's
down
too many
there.
Californians coming to Texas. They're ruining everything.
Aren't you from California?
Just make it a requirement they have to live in Austin, so you can just kind of keep them
Yes.
in one place.
Hello, all you weirdos. Just go be Democrats and hippies in Austin. You'll fit in perfectly. Not that I'm a Republican. Just saying.
Those hipsters.
Hello, welcome to Skype call testing service.
Oh. Okay, I thought we had a new guest joining us.
Feedback to you.
Hello.
Who are you?
This is Jeff.
I was like, oh, who's the British lady? Hello.
Yeah. Hang on.
Let's all talk with a British accent.
This is
today.
Jeff. Would you
I
please
was
say
like,
something?
oh, who's the
Let's keep
British
Sean
lady?
McCartney on
Hello.
Hello.
What's that about? Why am I repeating myself?
Okay. I just had to see if I could get Skype going here on the other machine. So if we're going to
You're
try
so
and call
fancy, Captain Jeff.
Mac. Well, that's the only way I can figure out how to do this. While I have a Google Hangout over here on this one, I got to do something. This one.
I'm going to expect you to be thoroughly confused the entire show.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm always confused. Let's see. Let me see if I have Mac's.
I need a pick of the week, y'all.
You want to see what I rescued from a antique shop the other day?
I thought you were going to say like an animal shelter.
No.
Ooh.
Oh, that's
Desktop crucifix.
Does that have a palm? Did the palm
Yeah.
come with it?
No,
Oh, okay, I was like, wow, that's pretty old.
Did the palm come with it?
Hey, you never know.
Okay. Let's go.
Let us.
Ready? Let's see. What day is today?
Saturday.
3rd of May,
What
222.
a genius you are.
I know.
Here we go.
May the 4th Eve.
This is SQPN, the StarQuest Production Network, leading the way.
You're listening to Catholic Weekend, episode number 222, for the week ending Saturday, May 3rd, 2014. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Catholic Weekend. I'm Captain Jeff in the beautiful little hamlet of Roswell, Georgia, a North Atlanta suburb. Joining me today from deep in the heart of Texas is Angela Cialana. Good morning.
Hello from the turkey lit of San Antonio.
The what?
What?
Well, Jeff came from the Hamlet, so I'm coming from the turkey lit.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe a cutlet would have been. So anyway,
I'm
also
being
joining
meat
us-
specific here.
and also, this time we actually do have Steve Nelson from the Plains of Oklahoma.
Hello, everybody. Good to be back again. Sorry I missed last week. I heard it was loads of fun.
Well, it's never
So
as fun
was.
as it can be without you. All right, and also joining us from the heart of Atlanta in Buckhead,
Is it a pig's heart or a cow's heart?
The porklet.
Sarah Fabulous.
Hello, everybody.
Will gently fade
The best song ever.
Toto. It is a good song, that's for sure. And we also have a special guest joining us today.
Try to guess who it is, guys.
Once you pop, you can't stop. Once you pop.
Unmute yourself, Tom.
We have Thomas Pringle.
Good morning, everyone.
Whoa, went through the dim past to find that little sound bit.
That's so epic. That's
I love it.
Once you pop. How's it going, Pop?
Can you play that again?
We'll just play it the whole show and have it in the background.
Because we can't stop.
Okay.
It's a snack.
Funny story. That was actually my campaign slogan in middle school.
What were you running for?
Student council.
Aw.
I know, I was a nerd.
Hi, Tom. Tell us what's going on.
Not much. Just got my power back and we're ready to go.
Are you jet lagged?
A little bit, yeah.
It's the good
Why
kind
would
of
you be
jet lag.
jet lagged?
I tell you,
Oh,
that
so
trip
you
to
were
Rome
over-
was not fun.
Well, tell us about that. Last weekend there was something going on over there in Rome, and I guess you were there for it. So why don't you fill us in? Oh, first of all, tell everybody who doesn't know who Tom Pringle is, watching or listening.
No.
Well, most everyone knows me, but
Wow.
Well, excuse me.
of the
Throws
5 people
Mike
that are in the
down.
chat room.
Walks away.
But no, I work for a Catholic parish down in the Diocese of St. Petersburg, doing stewardship and development. Used to blog, don't do much of it anymore, which I hope I hope I get back to it here shortly. But no, I was in. I had the opportunity to go to Rome for the canonizations of John the 23rd and John Paul II. So I just got back on Tuesday. So it's been kind of a long week, to say the least. So.
Did you sleep on the street?
No, I was with an older lady. She went with me, like a grandmother to me. So we went over with a group from the parish that I work at. And so there wasn't an opportunity for me to camp out, but I would have had I gone by myself. But so I got there like at 5 for the canonization, and there was already 1 million people on the street. It was crazy. So
How close did you get?
I got to the end of the Via della Conciliazione, which is a long street, leading up to St. Peter's. So I was at the very end.
The far end or the near end?
The far end.
Yeah.
So I was kind of in between. I was in between the street or the end of that street and where Castel San Angelo is.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of in between 2 screens, and it was kind of difficult to see. But I mean, it is what it is. You couldn't really get much closer than that. So.
Did you feel like the spiritual vibe still, like
we
during
did.
the canonization and everything?
We did. And there was it was an experience to be there, even though I didn't really get to see much. Just being in Rome for the canonizations was something that I'll never forget. So I mean, it was a true witness to the global nature of what Catholicism is all about. So mostly there was mostly Polish people there, I will say, but I mean there were people from all over the place. There was Asians, Americans, Europeans, all sorts of different people. So it was definitely something to experience.
And so, did you get to go into St. Peter's or?
No, it was. We did a day that what day was that? Friday or Thursday? Thursday. Because I got there Wednesday afternoon, before the canonizations. So Thursday we had the opportunity just to go into St. Peter's. Actually went to confession, which was actually one of the best confessions I've ever had in my life. So that was an experience.
Awesome.
I did that once in St. Peter's. Yeah, there's just how can you not give a good confession when you're in St. Peter's?
Right.
It's like there's no inhibitions. It's like if I'm ever gonna give a good one, this is the place to do it.
Right. So
I had my worst confession ever there.
Really? Oh, I'm sorry.
The guy, the priest. The guy.
It's a random guy. That's why I was worried.
Yeah.
No,
it's
the
not
priest.
supposed to work that way.
The priest was really mean. He was really mean. So he was like, "You should know better." I was like,
Well, I didn't.
That's not helpful. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Tom. I'm having
Hi,
flashbacks
Jack.
of my bad times.
But no, I was in the confessional for like 25 minutes, just having a conversation with this priest. It was awesome. So,
Cool.
so.
Yeah, I highly recommend that.
Was that your first time in Rome?
My third. I was there in 2009, and then I was there last. Let's see when that was. That was January of 2013, when I actually sang at the New Year's Day Mass. So that was pretty cool. But this was a completely different experience, and it was like, we got there at 5 for the canonization, and it was already packed. People were pushing. people were stepping all over you. And they tried to be respectful in some regard, but there were some that were pushing and shoving and move out of my way kind of thing. But I think everyone just wanted to try to get as close as possible to see what was going on. But at the same time, I mean, there really was no way around it. So
I can see why it'd be hard to for everybody to keep their cool when they've been awake all night, standing in the street.
yeah,
Did it rain? I heard.
it did a little bit. It sprinkled right at the beginning of the canonization ceremony, and then it stopped like 10 minutes after, and it was just a sprinkle. So I mean, it wasn't. It was actually kind of a nice kind of cooling effect because everyone was kind of hot and we were all close together, and so I really didn't have but an inch to either side of me
Oh gosh.
to move. So, and there was no kneeling, there was no sitting down. So I was standing from 5 in the morning all the way to 2:30 in the afternoon.
Oh goodness.
So it was crazy.
I bet your dogs were tired after that.
Yeah. So
Wow.
it was good to definitely walk
So
after standing there.
So we know that Tom was in Rome for the canonization. What else has been going on with the rest of the gang here? Who wants to start?
I made a really delicious quiche for dinner last night. For breakfast
Wow.
today and the next several meals.
It must have been an epic quiche because that's like the second time you've mentioned it.
It's so good. You can look at pictures of it online. Of course, I posted pictures. My mom made the crust, so of course it tastes, good because your mom made it. But I went to Whole Foods and got like super local bacon. They do a rating of meat from 1 to 5 of how organic and local and nice the meat is. This is 5+, so it means that the pigs were super happy. So basically, it's the best bacon I've ever had in my life.
They were raised like right outside the Whole Foods.
Probably.
That's how local they were.
And just use fresh eggs and some mozzarella cheese and a Vidalia onion because they are back in season, and it was basically like the best thing ever
So
made.
Vidalia onion or Texas sweet, which one's better?
Vidalia,
Yeah,
I think it depends on what you're making.
always
How
Vidalia.
you're
No,
cooking
it doesn't depend.
it.
Well, sometimes you don't really want a sweet onion. You need a real biting onion.
That's why we have panel, Steve.
You like those red onions, huh?
You know, on
I
a
love
hamburger,
red onion.
I like the onion that makes you cry. I do. Don't ask me why.
Likes to torture himself when eating hamburgers.
Steve, how have you been? How about this week? Anything interesting
Oh,
going
do you really want to know?
on? I don't know.
I spent the entire week in a sewage treatment plant.
Oh,
The current project I'm working on is automating a wastewater treatment plant, and I tell you, I have a great respect for the people that do that work. I don't want to be one of them, and I'm hoping that somebody will come rescue me so I can go back and work for the church. So that's kind of sad sounding, wasn't it? But it was a good week other than that.
yeah. I guess I should have had my finger ready for this.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, here
Give
we
a
go.
toilet flushing sound.
Yeah, is there a flushing noise?
No, I mean, I shouldn't complain. It's good to have a job,
For sure.
But yeah, but it's been a good week other than that. The weather's turning. It's starting to warm up. It's gonna be 90 tomorrow. I can.
That's not warm, Steve. That's scalding hot.
No.
Yes.
Turner.
I live in Atlanta. It gets hot here.
Mm-hmm.
What can I say?
It's a wet heat.
I like it.
We won't go there.
Nothing is gonna match Papua New Guinea. Everything's gonna seem cooler than that.
Do you miss that kind of heat?
Yeah, I don't know. You get used to it, If you don't have air conditioning and all you have is a ceiling fan, and it's 24 hours a day, after a while you just don't notice it anymore.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean,
I really like my air conditioning.
well, that's it. I mean, if you go in and out of air conditioning, you're going to notice the heat a lot more. But we didn't have that choice, so it was like you just kind of dealt with it, and you kind of forgot about it most of the time.
Well, Angela, anything interesting happening in your past week?
I've just been. I started a new schedule where I'm actually working 40 hours. Before I was working like 35, and so I'm just a little bit more tired. But I did volunteer to to form our teens in the Life Teen program that help. They're confirmed, but they still help out with the Life Nights, and so that should be interesting because I haven't taught confirmation or teenagers in any way for probably like maybe 4 years, and I really miss it a lot. So I'm happy that I'm going
Wait a
to be
minute.
able to do that.
I thought that when you're confirmed, then that's pretty much it. You don't ever come back.
I don't know, Jeff. Are you confirmed?
Ouch.
It's a common misperception.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
Win 10 points for that.
Round one.
No, that's just a joke, because it seems that so much of our young population kind of disappear after they've been confirmed and don't
Well, that's
show
our
up
fault.
again until they have kids.
I think that's partially our fault. Like, I think if we were to present the faith in a, the way it is, and not in our boring, neurotic, weird, messed up ways, then I think they would want to come back because it's
No,
pretty
I think you're
awesome.
going to have to elaborate on that. What did
Well,
you mean by all that?
well, it's just like I don't know. When I was in confirmation, God bless all the people, first of all, who work in confirmation because it's not easy. Because teenagers, you got a lot going on in their brains and their bodies and everything. But it was just one thing that I really got frustrated with when I was a teen was being treated like I was in elementary school. Just sort of like the same lessons over and over and over again, and not really sort of like, okay, well, you're going to go out into the world and you're going to have a life and you're going to experience conflict and you're probably already experiencing, difficult situations. And so, I kind of wished that I was spoken to as a young adult, which I was, and I think also just what was frustrating was when the adults who would teach confirmation would kind of make up stuff when they didn't know the answer, which is kind of the worst thing ever to do. And just empower, teenagers to learn how to read the Bible and tell them that, Catholics aren't perfect and people make mistakes, and I don't know, just present the faith as it is, and show them that you're inspired by your faith and that how liberating it is. Father Robert Barron had this really great series of videos. Yeah, he had this really great series of videos after and during the canonization when he was over there for I think he was commenting for like NBC and also EWTN. And so he gave these separate videos that he called The Word from Rome. And the last one that I saw was he was talking about how John the 23rd and John Paul II both demonstrate that they were radically, I think he called them radically converted disciples, Christian disciples. And he said that when we live as sinners and we're not converted, that we kind of live in this fear. Like we let fear dictate everything. Like I'm afraid of what people will think of me. I'm afraid of getting sick. I'm afraid of dying. I'm afraid of losing my job, blah, blah. But he said, what the saints show us in particular is that when we are converted to Christ and we really live our faith, that we're liberated from fear. And we have, it's like John Paul II used to say all the time, be not afraid. And so, so that's what I enjoy about teaching teenagers, because I think they get really, really excited about that message, because there's just so much craziness that they hear from the world, like all these expectations of them, all of these, messages that are just directed at them. And I just love like presenting the gospel to them, presenting the saints, and just the richness of our faith and the beauty of our faith, and saying like, this is yours, embrace it. And yeah, so.
What I was thinking about when you were talking about Robert, when you were talking about how our faith is presented to our young people in a dumbed down way, or not an appropriate way, and it reminded me of Father Robert Barron. I tried to find the actual video or audio of him saying this, but I did find the text for it. So if you'll bear with me and let me read this. He says, when my niece was going into her senior year in high school, a very high-level Catholic high school in the Chicago area, and it was the end of the summer, and I was at my brother's house, and he said, go take a look at Nyla's books. Or Neela, N-I-L-A, Neela or Nyla? Anybody?
Not sure about that.
Anyway, she's getting ready for her senior year in high school. It was a big pile of books, and the top book was Hamlet. Not Reader's Digest Hamlet or Hamlet for Dummies, but the whole text of Shakespeare. Under Hamlet was Virgil's, I don't know how you pronounce that, A-E-N-E-I-D, Aeneid,
yeah.
in Latin. So the most complicated poem ever written in Latin was one of her books. Underneath that was her science book, a big bristling Einsteinian thing with complex equations. Underneath that was a big paperback with a picture on the cover and big print and pictures inside. Her religion book. I said to my brother, does this bother you at all? She's reading Hamlet for English class. She reads Virgil in Latin, and she's reading a comic book for religion. So I went out and bought her a volume 1 of Aquinas' Summa Contra Gentiles, Confessions of Augustine, The Mind's Road to God by Bonaventure, Dante's Divine Comedy, and Chesterton's Orthodoxy. And I presented those to her a week later and said, these are the Catholic version of those other books you're reading. And really wish that I'd found the video of him saying it, not me reading it. Anyway, why do we dumb everything down to our teenagers, thinking that we have to present them comic books to describe our faith, which is so rich and so deep and so, can be complicated.
I think it's because they wouldn't read it on their own, and unless they're in a class that's going to really stress them on those things, they're not going to read it. And so giving them a comic book gets them to read at least something. At least that's kind of the mentality that I think is maybe going on.
Right, but I don't know if I understand that mentality, but I don't agree that that's the right way to do it.
Oh, I don't either.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think you did. What do you think, Tom?
Well, I think a lot of it actually stems from poor catechesis on the parents' part as well, because they don't understand their faith as much as they should, and I think a lot of times that they don't know what resources are out there and what they should be giving their own kids. So we're kind of in this cycle of poor catechesis where the parents don't understand their faith, so they don't know what to tell their kids, and and what to give their kids to read. So it's kind of this vicious cycle.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side of that, that's the way it was when I was growing up. We had terrible resources for that kind of thing. But now with the internet, there's all kinds of good stuff out there. Starting with Father Barron, and I'd like to think that families could sit down together and watch some of these things, and it's going to be better than trying to read it in a book that's at a level that's not appropriate for everybody in the family. I'd like to see those parishes promoting those kind of programs for their families.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's just you're talking about that vicious cycle. I think that's why people don't come back, because they go out into their real lives and they have people challenge them, really challenging questions like, why do you believe that Jesus rose from the dead, or even just the whole problem of suffering in our life, and not knowing where does God fit into this? How could God let this happen? And when you are faced with that and you don't have an integrated and a mature adult faith to help you deal with that, then, you just kind of say, okay, well, I was raised in religion as a child. I'm going to go back to church when I have children, and I'm going to let them do that. And then, it's just kind of like a cycle. When they grow up, they'll just have children, and they'll take their kids, and it'll all be just religion is just like this nice, cute thing that you do when you're a kid, and it doesn't really add up to an adult experience. So, but it's completely the opposite,
One of the biggest problems I had as a campus minister was, young adults come into college or in high school and they still see things from a very black and white perspective, and they want to know an answer. It's like, why is it like this? And you can't give them a yes or no, black or white answer, because and it takes some wisdom to understand some of the things, and that's, I think, where we lose people is like, I asked this question, I didn't get a good answer, therefore I'm not going to try anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think part of that's also on our education system that sets all of us up as Americans to expect a black and white. Other countries do a much better job of not having such like harsh standards with it's either this way or this way, and there's no in the middle. And I think that's just on us and our culture and the way that we've educated people over the last 50 years.
It's true, and I think it also has to do with prayer life. I think if probably, I'm guessing, if our families grew up with like a deeper sense of prayer and how we pray and really integrate that and have that sort of connection to God rather than just trying to intellectualize everything and learn faith like school, or like math. It's not the same thing.
I think Pope Francis has given us some good examples about, living your faith on the street, out in the muck and making a mess and all that. I love that imagery. You can learn, but you have to live it too. And I think hopefully that's going to show some improvement in all those areas over time.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good discussion, and I don't know what the answer is, but I think we came up with some good suggestions. You want to do some prank calling?
Yeah.
Nice segue there.
Well, I couldn't really think of a good segue. Maybe somebody else can, but it's too late now.
I know we need some sort of transition for that.
Like some transition music.
Yes.
Oh, well, too late for that. Anyway, we hear that today is the birthday of someone who has been with the StarQuest Production Network for quite a number of years, and they do a podcast, or he is one of the two hosts that host a wonderful podcast, Catholic in a Small Town, Mac Barron. So I thought, you know what? And he doesn't know we're doing this, and I don't know if they'll answer or if anybody's even home, but we're going to give this a shot. So I'm going to hit the call button here.
And if you don't hear this later, it's because we had to do
Wait,
that.
what are we going to say?
Happy birthday. Oh, you want me to hang up? Shall I hang up?
No.
Okay. You say something, Angela. This is fascinating.
I have to leave a message.
Hello, no one is available to take your call.
Well, hello. This is the crew of Catholic Weekend calling to wish Mac Barron a happy birthday. Mac, if you're screening your call, please pick up. Darn it.
Happy birthday, Mac. Come on the show sometime.
Yeah, we love you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Holla.
Okay.
I was trying to think of something crazy to say, like, hey, this is Domino's Pizza, and we got your order, but we don't actually have any
Anchovies.
shrimp to put on your pizza. So you could just give us a call.
We could just keep calling and leaving messages.
I'm gonna call, I have a, I
Let's
have
do
one of
it.
those-
Oh my gosh.
I have the
That
cell
is
phone.
such a good idea.
I'm gonna try to call the cell phone here.
Oh, that was the home phone.
Yeah.
Oh, the cell phone's gonna be much better because you know they're gonna be out. And he's gonna be like, "Hello."
We should have some music playing in the background.
You have 4 minutes to call back to win your prize.
I don't think they're gonna answer.
Hi, this is the Mac and Catherine cell phone. Leave us a message.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, this is Bob from Domino's. I got your pizza here. Nobody's home. If you could call back, please.
Just kidding. Happy birthday, Mac.
Happy birthday
Catholic
to
Weekend.
you. From Catholic Weekend. We're live. We were hoping to have you on the show, but I guess you have better things to do. So, wishing you a great
That's
day.
a big surprise.
In fact, now that I think of it, we all have better things to do. Anyway, have a good day, Mac. Bye.
See you later.
This is the best show ever.
Wait, who else can we prank call?
Yeah, who else can we crank call?
Wait, Pat Gone. Is she doing anything?
I don't know if she is or not.
She's giving a retreat this weekend. Maybe that was
No.
Friar Matt Foley?
That could
I
be
think
fun.
he's going to a wedding actually this weekend.
We should call up Billy.
Yeah, he's still in bed. He just tweeted. Let's do it.
Do it.
apparently,
he's
the guy that lives in the townhouse next to him is pressure washing his home, and it's quite loud. So this is
Awesome.
great. Let's do it.
Well, yeah, let's do that.
This is awesome, you guys.
Let's see. Well, you guys
Wait,
carry
what-
on while I'm
okay.
trying to find his number.
Now we have to figure out what we're going to say. Are we going to truly crank call, or are we just going to be like, "Hi, Billy, it's us"?
Where are you? We thought you were going to be on today.
Well, actually, that's the funny thing, Sarah, because I did email him last night saying that I was asking him to be on the show, and he said that he had some other obligation.
Oh, I know what we should do. We should pretend to be. We should pretend to be. What's the name of that? Like the Superman Impersonators Association or something like that.
Is that a thing?
And just say that he was recommended to us, and he needs to let us know.
I don't think we can pull it off because he'll recognize every one of our voices.
Maybe not Tom's. Would he recognize your voice, Tom?
Probably. But we could do something.
You disguise it.
I could do a Roy D. Mercer.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, Tom, you're
Keep
the
it
guy.
clean, though. Keep it
Okay,
clean.
so what are we saying? What are we saying?
I don't know. But I have his number ready to hit.
Let's
Well,
do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Tom will speak in some foreign tongue.
I might start laughing, so.
Ask him about the Kentucky Derby.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
He denied the call.
Oh, he's probably in the chat room, and he knew better than to answer the phone.
Please record your message.
Just hang up, Jeff.
When you have finished recording,
Okay.
you may hang up or
I'm hanging up. See, what the problem is, when you call via Skype, it just has some kind of a weird number.
Oh,
Nobody
no.
recognizes.
All right, we should probably forget this for this weekend.
Yeah, all right. That was a
Let's
fail.
talk something a little more substantial. I don't know what, but
Okay, well, Steve, the show is yours. You have the floor. Go ahead.
we could talk about the death penalty and the botched execution in
Oh
Oklahoma.
my
this week.
gosh.
Oh, that's uplifting. Yeah, let's do that.
That was horrible, wasn't it?
It's terrible. It's just absolutely awful. And
Oh my gosh. I almost cried reading the story.
yeah, and the people here really. I mean, I guess most of our listeners have heard about it, but
Why don't you fill us in, Steve, just in case?
well, Oklahoma had planned to execute 2 people this week on the same day, one right after another, and they were using a different set of drugs than they've used in the past, and things just went horribly wrong with the first execution. And I don't want to go into the details. I don't really know all the details, but it's just
Basically, it took him was it half an hour, an hour to die?
I heard 45 minutes. But it basically was they tried to inject the drugs and it didn't work, and so he suffered, and he eventually died of a heart attack. They think,
Mhm.
and so they don't know if it was part of the the drug regimen or what. But if you read the events of the day, it was just terrible. It was just awful, and execution itself is just a terrible thing. Shouldn't be done, and so Oklahoma's a pretty conservative state, and so even the people that are all for the death penalty, and think that that's the best punishment for capital crimes and things, even they're starting to be quizzical about it, and it's like, what did we do, and why did it go so bad, and we shouldn't be doing it, and so it's in a sense, though, I guess the benefit that's going to come out of this is that there's a lot of discussion about it, and a lot of the religious figures are having a chance to state the church's position on it, which they don't usually get a chance to do that because the state in most states, the way they do executions, it's done in a way that it doesn't allow for a lot of opportunity for people to voice their opinions about it. Anyway, so it's made worldwide news, and everybody around the world has chimed in on it in one way or another. And their Sports Center.
There we go. Bring us in with the latest updates on the score, Steve.
That's not me. I don't know who was that.
That was me. Sorry.
Okay, well, Tom, give us the latest update on the scores.
What? We just gonna change subjects?
That's almost as bad as the.
I know, as the Betty Rubble moment.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's just continue with this really depressing story. So a lot of people would say that what's wrong with the death penalty, and does the Catholic Church, what is their policy or their teaching say about the death penalty? And we could have that discussion, I guess. Anybody want to jump in with that?
Well, it basically says that because I've done some soul searching on this one in the past, because I was unaware of what the church taught exactly. But if you look at the catechism, it basically says that if there are no other means to protect society from an individual, that is the only case that the death penalty can be used. But because of the way our prison systems are set up, we do have a way of protecting society from individuals. So the church is vehemently opposed to the death penalty because we do have options of protecting society from these particular individuals. So that, in a nutshell, is pretty much what it is.
So the church's view is like, well, no, we think the death penalty could be okay in some circumstances because because of the punitive aspect of it. No, it's basically the whole support for the death penalty would be if this person was a threat to society. So we're all living on a small island, and we have this guy going around killing people. Then in that case, that may fit the teaching of the church. But as you said, Tom, in this world we live in today, we have the means, the capability, the technology to keep people locked up for the rest of their lives, and society safe without taking their lives or their life.
Right. I mean, you risk being hypocritical if you say that the unborn life is holy and should be protected, but the life of a person isn't. If you have no other means, if you have other means, then you're making a judgment and you're saying this person's life is not worth keeping. And so you can be really hypocritical.
Yeah, I think the problem, the logic behind the pro capital punishment, and only the logic, because I know there's a lot of emotion behind it, but I think the logic has to do with let the punishment match the crime, as well as a a child in utero is innocent, whereas a criminal would, assuming that the trial was actually, everything went as it should have, and the evidence was, what am I trying to say? That if they are truly guilty, then I think some people say, well, then that makes it okay.
But there's the rub,
but
right? I mean, how many
right.
times do you hear in the news, even recently, where people have been incarcerated for, decades, and then they find by using modern technology with DNA evidence and everything else, or a piece of evidence that was there the whole time that nobody bothered to bring up in court at the trial, and this person was innocent. And what if that had been a death penalty case? And I'm sure that we've executed people who are innocent in the past.
Yeah, it's actually been proven several times that we have done that in this country, at least.
Many times, I would say, and you sort of take away the chance for the person to redeem themselves, potentially. Maybe they have, maybe they haven't.
A lot of conservatives would say, well, I'm pro-life, but then I'm also for the death penalty, and that's the contradiction, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And, now, before I was a Catholic, that was kind of my way of thinking about things, but finally, when I started reading some of the teachings of the church, I thought, wait a minute, well, I'm all turned upside down on this one, because the church is being consistent. If a life is important in utero, it's still important until, until natural death.
Yeah, and I understand it's hard not to feel vengeful. I mean, this man that died this week did horrific things, terrible things. And, you kind of want to say, he deserves it, he should pay, but, then you risk playing God, And
yeah, there was actually, when I was in college, the law school that was part of my university brought in a group, I forget what they're called, but they are actually family members of people who have been on death row, as well as family members of people whose children or, family members have been murdered. And the aggressor was actually put on death row, as well as people who were on death row. So all of these types of people come together, and they tour around and talk about their experience. And one thing that really struck me was the mothers. The mothers of the people who were on death row, as well as the mothers of the people who actually had children who were murdered. And they both talked about, these individuals in particular talked about how they wanted to speak out against the death penalty because they wanted this cycle of violence to end. They didn't see how it made the world any better to take away another person's life, and have that whole cycle of grief and, to continue. I remember especially, it's really powerful when you see somebody who went through the horrific tragedy of having found out that one of their children was murdered, and for her to stand up and say, you know what, as horrible as that was, I don't want another mother to go through what I went through, no matter what that man did to, my daughter or my son. I don't want his mother to suffer the pain that I suffered. And I think that is really the way of true love. You know what I'm saying? That I think God calls us to, and it's not easy. I mean, God knows it was not easy for this mother to come to this conclusion. But it's the right thing, you know. It's not right to wish pain on another person.
It's a tough issue. It's really tough.
Yeah.
The U.S. bishops actually have a statement on the death penalty as a whole, and looking at it in the view of the culture of life. It's actually called The Culture of Life and the Penalty of Death. So if anyone's interested, it's a really good read, and it's short, and it really puts the Catholic perspective on the death penalty in the United States, especially. So.
Okay, we'll make sure we give that link to Lynn, and she'll put that in the show notes for those interested in reading that. And so, anything else, Steve?
No, we can move on to something less depressing and serious.
Yeah, thank you.
Captain.
Thanks for letting us go back to
Incoming
that.
message.
I don't know if you heard that or not. They're saying the music is not coming through very, very clearly. Did you hear that little bumper?
Me or them?
Anybody?
Indeed.
Okay, good. We did receive some feedback on the Catholic Weekend site, and one of which was from our good friend and SQPN community member Daniel Smirkowski, or a lot of us know him as Podman Dan. And he said, "Great show as always. I love the jokes too. Almost went to the popejokes.com site, and then Sarah said not to go there. I didn't press enter. Thank you for that."
I just made it up, and then it was a thing, and it was a bad thing.
It's a very bad thing. So it wasn't a place where you go, well, the Pope and the rabbi went into a bar. No, wasn't that at all. We also received some email, and it was mostly aimed at for Steve. And Steve said that he replied to Tom.
Yeah.
And, go ahead.
Yeah, Tom had replied to an episode, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, when Sister Ann was on with us, and he was sharing his memories of being on the Camino in Spain, and yeah. So thanks, Tom. Thanks for giving us a great piece of feedback, and I hope you have a buen camino.
Ooh, cool. John Paul wrote, "Thank you for the shout out for the Divine Mercy Novena." So obviously, John Paul is a supporter of the Divine Mercy.
Did you guys see how excited he was when he woke up on Divine Mercy Sunday and he posted on Facebook? He was like, "I'm finally named after an actual saint."
That's cool. I'm not.
Congrats.
Thank you.
There must be a Saint Jeffrey somewhere.
Probably not.
Well, I think there is, actually.
Oh.
You can look it up on the SQPN Saints database.
Yeah.
Well, it won't be me because...
I know, but this guy doing the flying has no airline experience at all. He's a menace to himself and everything else in the air. Yes, birds too. Okay, he's a terrible risk.
Hello?
Wish we got.
There is a Saint Jeffrey. Oh, wait. Oh, I lied.
No, there is. There's actually several of them.
Oh, really?
No, that's just the name.
Oh,
Oh, there
wait.
is. You're right.
A variation of the name, Jeff?
Godfrey.
Godfrey.
Blessed
Godfrey of
Blessed Geoffrey of Peronne, friend of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux.
I bet you're going on the Saint site at sqpn.com, maybe?
I am.
All right. We should always mention that. That's a great resource for folks if you're listening. Go to the sqpn.com site, and one of the first items at the top there is the Saints site at SQPN.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how much traffic that site gets, and we don't talk about it near enough.
I know we don't. Like we don't really need to, apparently. But yeah, Terry is the one that manages that, right? Terry Jones?
I think so, yeah.
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 So it's an amazing database full of saints, and you can search for your patron, and you can put all kinds of search terms in there, and it'll generate a bunch of great results and a lot of good information in there.
That's where I got my patron saint for this year.
Who is?
Saint Sebastian.
Oh.
I don't know why. I did one of those random saint picker things, and I got Saint Sebastian, and he's patron of athletes, which I'm not. So maybe it's maybe I'm supposed to be encouraged to be more athletic. Let's go, Saint Sebastian.
Do the ESPN sounder there, Tom.
Yeah. Da 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 da.
There we go.
Chariots of Fire.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Oh, come on.
That reminds me of the movie The Holiday, where what's his name? He is a really funny actor, and he was in the movie where he played Gulliver's Travels. Jack Black. Where Jack Black, his character in the movie The Holiday, he sings all of the movie tunes. Like he does like bum 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 boom boom. It's very funny. If you have not seen the movie, you must see it. It's one of my favorite movies ever. It's a chick flick. Warning.
Jack Black and chick flick don't usually go together.
Yeah, I know.
He has expanded his horizons.
Well, speaking of expanding your horizons, you should check out Billy Newton's blog of the Courtier website. In it last week, April, actually just earlier this week, Conjuring the 90s, 7 thoughts on the Vatican's new website.
We're going to go there, aren't we?
Oh, someone on this current panel actually likes the website. I'm not saying.
Weird.
I do. I really like it.
So what is different about the new one and the old one? It doesn't look any different.
Tom, your birthday called. It wants you back.
Okay. So what do you like about it, Tom?
I mean, it's a lot more user friendly than it was. And if they ever get rid of the parchment,
a lot.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
If they ever get rid of the parchment, I'm leaving the church.
I don't think there's any.
Tom in the Catholic Church, the parchment. Okay.
Listen, I have parchment on my website, so all you haters out there, haters gonna hate.
Well, I was having an internal discussion about this website, and it's like, well, what is it you want? Do you want it to be flashy and modern looking, and
no,
sort of narcissistic about it, or just to be able to find things easily?
No, but we could really do without the scrolling Twitter feed. Like,
yeah, well, okay. Yeah, that goes back to the 90s.
That I don't like. That's one of the only things I don't like about it. Everything else I think is awesome. I mean, everything is right there. It's easy to read, and you know what you're looking for.
I guess I haven't spent enough time on the new site, but
I think if they made it a white background or a gray background or something that's not this parchment, maybe people would stop complaining so much.
I don't have a problem with the parchment either. I mean, it's just, for me, it was always, I didn't know how to find anything. So you're saying that it's better now as far as discovery is concerned, or finding what you're looking for?
And you don't have that initial splash page where you have to select your language. Now you go to it and it's in Italian, but you get the option of changing the language.
Yeah, but they should have a cookie saved on your browser so that it remembers what you chose before, which they don't, which is but.
What I got when I went to it yesterday is that I used Chrome, and the Chrome browser immediately said, "This is not in English. Would you like us to translate?" So it was basically giving me a link to a Google Translate to translate the website. But I knew, because I'd read Billy's article on the website, that there was a way to change it. So I hit no, thank you. I'll go over up here to Italiano and click on English and change it to English. I don't know. You're right, Sarah. There should be some kind of a cookie there that remembers that you have visited this in the past and you looked at it in English.
It's just, I feel like they have someone who learned how to design websites back in the 90s, and they've never learned the new craft. Mm-hmm. And so there's not a lot of good use of the CSS and having floating items, and it could be a lot better.
Yeah. I guess it's like the church. It moves very slowly.
Well, I wonder if this has something to do with the kind of philosophy that Sean Patrick Lovett shared with us when he came to the CNMC. And he basically said they didn't want to hire real expensive, media designers and things like that. They wanted to be more grassroots about the things they do,
Mm-hmm.
And
But the Vatican's news website is amazing. It's really cool looking. News.va.
Right, because that's contracted out to an advertising agency.
Yeah, but it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Or is it just because
that's why it looks awesome?
because
Because they have professional, up-to-date, contemporary people doing it.
Well, is it because that's what what we do? We hang out in this world, and so that's what we're used to seeing. And then when we see something that's a little bit, let's say, in the past, that it's jolting to us.
But when you're up against the Mormons, who do an amazing job on everything digital, they're growing. Like, their faith is growing in a big way because of their digital outreach, and it's absolutely incredible. And we all have to stop saying, well, like, it's the Catholic Church and we move slow, so it's fine. Like, stop making excuses. This is the new evangelization, and we need to have the best that exists out there.
Tell us how you really feel, Sarah.
I'll step off my soapbox now.
That's all right. I mean, I agree with you, but
yeah,
I don't like the Mormon website.
You do or do not?
I don't.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, but
very
they have a gazillion websites. Like so many that you wouldn't even know they were Mormon websites.
Yeah, I don't know. The ones I've seen, they're very much marketing. Like, we're going to sell you the Mormon religion, and then I don't know. It's something disingenuous about it, in my view. But
that's because you're wise to their ways. But think about, people that aren't as educated about religion and stuff like we are. It's a different story for those kinds of folks.
Well, I would say I would agree with you that if you go to the Vatican website, it's not a place for people that are looking to be evangelized.
Correct.
Right.
It's not that. And I don't know if we have a place that's like that unless you go to some of the ones that we know of, like Busted Halo or I don't know.
Word on Fire.
I think it's more hierarchical. Like, they just kind of subsidiarity. They just sort of, I guess, encourage the bishops' conferences to be more, welcoming and evangelical in their digital outreach, maybe.
And how's that working out?
Well, the USCCB does have a few good websites out there, like for different projects and campaigns. So I will say that. Give them credit, props.
See, I don't really view the Vatican website as something that's going to be an evangelization tool. I see it as more of a resource for Catholic documents and whatever. But I mean, that might be playing into how I see it as well. So I mean, I don't know.
Well, I was trying to think of the random person, who says, "Oh, I'd like to learn some more about, the Catholic Church," and they don't know anything about the hierarchy or anything, and they're just going to go, "Oh, Vatican," and they're going to get that page, and they're going to like, "Whoa, look at all this! Where do I start? Where's the welcome?"
Right.
I don't understand anything that I'm seeing here. It's in a different language. Which just kind of propels that stereotype that this is a church headquartered in Rome, and I don't know.
Yeah, I find it, somebody saying, "Oh, I want to learn more about the Catholic Church. I'm going to look up Diocese of Tulsa." It's like,
they don't know what a diocese is.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. I don't know. I think we could probably do a little bit better.
I would be curious to ask Jennifer Fulweiler her opinion of this, because her book just came out this week, right? It was this week, called Something Other Than God. And I don't know if you guys know her story, but she sort of discovered Catholicism and what it's about through the online world and through blogs. And so I'd be curious to see, how did she go out and look for, more about the Catholic Church and maybe the bishops and the diocese and all that. How did you find out about that stuff?
Yeah, what was her jumping off point? What got her to the next page and the next page?
Yeah.
That would be nice to know.
I think she probably writes about it in her book. So that's your assignment. get her book and read about it, and then give us a full report.
And if you're interested in purchasing the book, you can go to sqpn.com and click on the Amazon. We haven't had a break yet, Jeff.
Well, speaking of that, can you hear the music?
Yeah.
Yeah, head over to sqpn.com. If you're going to buy Jennifer Fulweiler's new book, go to our site first, click on the amazon.com banner, and then make your purchase. And some of that purchase will go, or the amount of money you're sending. What am I trying to say here? We'll get some money for it. And you'll help support sqpn.com. Also, Bluehost. Now, we know that some of you are trying to start up a new hosting service on Bluehost and went to our site and could not find the Bluehost banner. But don't worry, it's back on the front page. And if you ever need to go to it in the future and you don't see it on our front page, you can go to sqpn.com/Bluehost, and there you'll find a nice convenient link to head over to Bluehost to start your hosting service. And Steve uses Bluehost. I think Sarah is a new user of Bluehost as well. What's your experience so far, Sarah?
It's good. I'm pretty pleased. I've got full control over everything, and the customer service is awesome. I had to call them to verify that I purchased the domain in order to start work on it, and the guy who answered could not have been nicer, and just really looking forward to moving my site over there over the next couple of weeks. I've got it up on a dev URL at the moment, and then I'll move everything over, and I'm looking forward to it. So thanks to you guys for the Bluehost recommendation, and I clicked on used the SQPN affiliate link, and it was super easy.
Well, very good.
Live testimonial.
Yeah, and thank you for using that link, Sarah, because that's going to really help out sqpn.com.
I bought a 3-year commitment, so I have commitment problems, so that was really hard.
Well, we do appreciate it. So, and Father Roderick on his own personal website also uses Bluehost. So, and Steve, and so many celebrities in the SQPN world are users of Bluehost. So, why don't you do it too, by heading over to sqpn.com/Bluehost and starting your hosting service today. All right.
You're one of the cool kids.
Yeah, I'm not on Bluehost. I should probably be.
Seriously, Jeff, it's so easy. It was a one-click install for WordPress, and just adding any new widgets and designing things. It's a really great experience. And you also get a lot of perks when you sign up. I didn't realize, they give you all this cloud space for you to, like the Google Docs equivalent or Dropbox equivalent, and all these other incentives. If you want to run Facebook ads, they give you some free money towards that. I mean, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I moved my primary email account over to my Bluehost account, so have a less of a dependence on Gmail.
So, so you have like your domain name is your email address?
Yeah, yeah. Huh?
Yeah, that's good. That's a great. I've been doing that for many years. I don't use Bluehost. I use another competitor, but it's nice to have your actual domain as your email address, and then I also use Gmail. You can kind of connect the two, and so I manage everything through Gmail. But if Gmail decides at some point in the future, as they've done in the past, and to decide to stop offering this free service, or just completely shut down, like they've done with many different things, at least you still own your email address. So I think. And if you decide to use some other service or whatever, you can. It's just so easy to, if you have your own domain and your own email domain, you can just move it around, and nobody knows the difference when they send you email. You don't have to send out an email to everybody saying, okay, this is my new address, so go ahead and delete this one, and this is where you send stuff to me now. That can be confusing.
You are correct, Jeff.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Steve. All right, and Tom knows all about it because Tom is Tom at thomaspringle.com, right?
Well, yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks for spamming him, Jeff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have like 8 email addresses.
Yeah, make sure you don't spam Tom.
Oh, I do all the time. This week I spammed Tom.
You only have 8 email addresses, Tom?
Something like that, yeah.
It's hard to get rid of them. I've been trying to get rid of some, but
so many. It's like, No.
I know, and I've parked my name on a couple of email at like Outlook.com that I never use, but I'm just parked there because I have a second cousin who has my same name, so I just go and grab everything so she can't have it. I was born first, FYI.
Well, when you have a common name like mine, it's you sign up for something, you can never use just your name because there's 50,000 other people have already got it in front of you.
I can't use my name because nobody can spell my name.
I have that problem as well, Angela. True story.
See, Alana, though, what's so hard about that? Really?
Does that have an O in it?
They probably put an E somewhere in there, like this.
Just like C like
See, Alana. Like a
UH.
All right. Well, let's prank call Pat Gunn. Yes, it's that time, boys and girls, for the picks of the week. And who would like to start off this week's picks?
I'll go first.
All right.
So my pick of the week is a good friend of mine. Her name is Allison Griswold, and she's a youth minister down in Florida. She released a book this week called Gifted, and it is a book that you can give to teenagers who were recently confirmed, and it talks to them about what to do next with their faith. You know, that the confirmation is not the end of your journey, and how to utilize the gifts of the Holy Spirit that you receive in the sacrament of confirmation. And so totally recommend. It's a great book to give if you're a youth minister or work, at a Catholic high school, to give to a bunch of your teenagers that just received that, or if you had a godparent or godchild, or you one of your children just was recently confirmed. Super book. Allison's wonderful. Everything's super faithful, and you can go to the Life Teen bookstore and purchase it. And it's called Gifted.
Is she any relation to the Griswolds on?
No, but I give her such a hard time about that. Whenever I watch any of those National Lampoon movies, I text her and I'm like, "Hey, watching your family on TV."
How's your dad?
Yeah. How's Clark W. Griswold doing?
Clark. I couldn't remember his name. Okay, thank you. All right, great pick, and kind of going along that theme that we were talking about earlier, kind of a full circle about catechism and catechesis and confirmation.
Well, it's that time of year. It's confirmation and first communion time of year. So really important, and it's really important to continue the education with your children every time they receive a sacrament, to remind them of truly what the sacrament means, because sure, they learned it in their classes, but kids are learning so much and they forget it. You have to have that constant reminder. So give them resources throughout their life so that they can remember how special it truly is to be a Catholic and participate in the sacraments.
Exactly. Excellent. Steve, you're next.
My pick of the week is the centennial celebration of Tulsa's Holy Family Cathedral that's going on this weekend. 100 years, which in Oklahoma terms is a big deal. There's not many things that are more than 100 years old here. So yeah, it's we have a beautiful cathedral. They've done a lot of work on it over the years, and it's one of my favorite places. And so they're having a big centennial gala tonight, and tomorrow there's going to be a mass. We're going to have 2 archbishops and our local bishop there, and it's going to be a really great celebration for the church in Oklahoma. So I'll put a link I'll send a link in the show notes about where you can go and learn a little bit about the cathedral if you're interested.
It is a beautiful structure.
Did I take you inside there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
One of those visits. Yeah, it was beautiful. Let's see, Angela?
All right. Well, I just want to brag and say that our cathedral is 283 years old.
Boom!
Wow.
Hey.
Oldest cathedral in the United States.
I did not imply that it was one of the older cathedrals. I just said it's 100 years old.
Okay, Steve. I just like bragging.
Do you ever see this Oklahoma, Texas kind of,
You mean Baja, Oklahoma?
Wait, Angela, yours is even older than the cathedral down in St. Augustine, Florida?
Well, apparently ours is the oldest cathedral structure in the United States.
Wow.
So,
Crazy.
yeah.
Didn't know that.
So my pick of the week is pretty fun. I've enjoyed laughing along with Jim Gaffigan. He's released just this past week. He had a new Comedy Central special called Obsessed, and he's been on like the Tonight Show and just promoting it. And so there are a lot of great. I don't know if you guys know Jim Gaffigan. If you're listening and you're like, who is this person? He is a Catholic. He's a dad of 5 kids, and he's hilarious. If you like humor that doesn't have obscenities and like crazy, stuff in it that might be objectionable, he doesn't have that. He mostly talks about food. And he's really famous for his bit on Hot Pockets. But my pick is this really great clip that he came out with last week. It's about seafood, and it just validates everything that I believe about seafood, and how hilariously disgusting it is that we eat it. So definitely, if you want a good laugh, go check out this clip. And it'll be in the show notes.
Excellent. We could use a good laugh after today's show, that's for sure.
So are we going to all get together and have some lobster?
Lobster.
Since you don't like seafood, and scallops and shrimp and oysters and salmon.
What is wrong with you people?
So
I hate
good.
seafood. Oh, I hate seafood.
Oh, Florida's a good place to live then.
No. The only seafood I'll eat is tuna. Is tuna steak. Or crab cakes. Those are the only 2.
Okay. Well, since you're talking, Tom, what's your pick of the week?
I actually have 2 picks. Most everyone, yes. Well, most everyone equates the second Sunday of May to Mother's Day, but this year the bishops decided that they were going to move the World Day of Prayer for Vocations to May 11th as well. So next Sunday is the World Day of Prayer for Vocations, so remember to pray for all those young men and young women who are discerning a call to either priesthood or the religious life. So, and my second pick is the Papal Gardens at Castel Gandolfo. We actually, during my trip to Rome, we actually had the opportunity to be one of the first groups to get a tour of the Papal Gardens there. And it was the best day of the trip. So if you're ever in Rome with a group and you're looking for something that hasn't been seen to the public since World War II and is absolutely stunning and beautiful and everything that you can imagine, it was the best day of the trip. So if you're ever in Rome, go to Castel Gandolfo and see the Papal Gardens. It's worth it. So.
Nice.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, my sound cut out momentarily. Did anybody
I heard
else's?
everything.
Mm-hmm.
No?
I heard it.
Yeah, we heard it all.
Okay, that means just more work for me. I gotta go get the darn sound off the video and fill it in. Well, I'm glad I'm back and I can hear everybody on the Hangout again.
Castel Gandolfo, go.
Thank you. Well, yeah. Tom, if you could do that again, the Castel Gandolfo thing for the people listening to the audio.
Castel Gandolfo.
There you go. Thank you. That's his second. And if you really want to hear everything that Tom just said, go look for the video on.
It was mind-blowing, guys. You're not going to want to miss this.
He said it was the best thing ever in Italy, so the end. There you go.
Yeah, so
pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Let's see. First of all, I did text Mac and said, we were trying to call him, and he said that he's in a parade this morning.
For his birthday? That's awesome.
Parade for his birthday?
I said, your birthday parade? And he didn't answer. So.
Oh.
That would have been the best crank call ever, guys. Like, if he had answered like,
in
while
a
he was on
parade?
the float or something.
Oh, well. Anyway, so just wanted to kind of tie up that loose end. And speaking of loose ends, no. My pick of the week, and yeah, speaking of loose ends, Father Roderick van Hogen. You ever heard of this guy?
No.
He wrote this book called Confessions of a New Media Pioneer, and he is going to be with host Judy Zarek on Thursday, May 15th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. There's I guess he's on Franciscan Media online video presentation. So we'll put that as a link in the show notes to this live interview that he'll be doing, and I guess she's going to be asking questions about his book, Confessions of a New Media
It's
Pioneer.
called Geek Priest, Jeff.
Geek Priest, Confessions of a New Media Pioneer. Thank you. Ask questions via the chat area, and Father Roderick will answer them during the presentation, or presentation if you prefer. So, again, let's just be sure, Geek Priest, Confessions of a New Media Pioneer. Is that acceptable to everybody on the panel?
Colon.
Well, it is a...
I.
Depends. Could be a hyphen as well. Depends on where you're looking at it. So
I have the book right
there's
here.
a joke there somewhere, but I'm not going to go there. Okay. Anything else? Yeah, let's talk about our new media presence. Angela, tell us about
Presents,
your blog.
like gifts?
Yeah.
Presce.
Oh.
No, that's
sorry. I guess I want presents. You can go find me on Twitter at Inspired Angela, and you can also read my blog at inspiredangela.wordpress.com. And this week I plan on writing finally about why I wear a veil in a sanctuary. So yeah, so because apparently there's like this underground movement amongst Catholic women this month, because it's the month of Mary, that a lot of girls are apparently like gonna try all month to wear a veil during Mass. And a lot of people have been asking, like, why would you even do that? And like, how do you not feel like a freak doing that? And so I'm going to write and answer those questions. So.
That's a vast right-wing church conspiracy.
Yes.
Obviously.
And I am part of it.
Yes, I know. Okay, thank you, Angela. I look forward to reading that.
You're welcome.
Let's see, Steve.
Yes.
How about yourself?
You can have a look at my blog at everythingesteban.com or follow me on Twitter at Steve_Nelson.
Okay.
There you got it.
And Steve is kind of experimenting with different themes and such, and I really love the one he has right now, so you should check it out as well. And a reminder that if you would like to get email reminders when Steve makes a post on his website, you can do that by signing up on his blog.
I think you can probably do that at everybody's blog. There's probably a way to do that, right? Angela, do you have a way for people to sign up for email notification?
Yeah. There's a little subscribe thingy in the sidebar. So.
Hey, I have an idea. You know, if you've looked at my blog recently, a lot of the stuff I've been putting on there has to do with these photo challenges that come from Daily Post at WordPress.com. Yeah. What if I were to start like some sort of a Catholic photo challenge and give a theme? You know, do you think anybody would participate in that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
I think Maria would.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to think about how to do it, but I mean, no prizes or anything. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, if you like that idea, why don't you just pop over to everythingesteban.com and leave a comment on one of my posts and give me some suggestions or some ideas if you think that might work.
Okay, and again, how do we do that, Steve?
Go over to everythingesteban.com, and on any of the blog posts, you can leave a comment. And there's also a contact page. If you look under the About tab, I think you can send me an email directly that way.
Okay, sounds like a great idea. I look forward to participating.
All right.
Sarah, do you have something for us this morning?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Catholic Drinky. I'm currently redoing CatholicDrinky.com in hopes that it will kickstart my blogging desires. I have all these ideas in my head, but I never want to sit down and do it. So I hope to get it done over the next couple weeks, so stay tuned for more on that. But in the meantime, you can look at my parchment at CatholicDrinky.com.
So what you're saying is you're going to pop the top on all those ideas that have been fermenting?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no, but we can talk about that off the show.
Well, check out Catholic Drinky and the beer-stained parchment wallpaper.
It's pretty parchment. It was custom made.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Okay.
We're very sensitive about our parchment.
Yes.
Well, you can head over to airlinepilotguy.com, and there's no parchment whatsoever on that site. And you can listen if you're interested. Latest episode just released talking about drones in Vancouver, a near miss at Newark Airport, and 10 ways to endear your flight attendant. So if you travel a lot, you might want to check out the latest episodes to see how you can endear your flight attendant if you so desire. All right.
How about Tom?
Oh, I'm sorry, Tom. Well, yeah, I forgot about Tom.
That's all right. You can find me on Twitter at Thomas Pringle. You can also go to thomaspringle.com. Everything's there. I don't blog as much as I should. I'm kind of in the middle of redesigning that site, so it's kind of all over the place. So.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
I love this so much.
It'd be cool to just have your own theme song, like playing everywhere you go. Kind of, there was an episode of Family Guy, I think, that had that idea. Anyway, so that was Thomas Pringle. So check out his site, thomaspringle.com, and all his various places on social media. And again, thank you, Tom, for joining us on Short Notice.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
We really enjoyed having you and hope to hear from you again on a future episode. All right. Well, anything going on in the church this week? Looking at my calendar, and it looks pretty bare for this upcoming week.
It's still Easter.
Yeah, it's still Eastertide, right? Or is it Easter season? Is that still called Eastertide?
Sure.
Why not?
Why not?
Yes, we just voted. It is. Okay. So enjoy your week, and look forward to seeing you again on a future episode of Catholic Weekend. And so have a great week. Take care, and God bless.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Say it again.
He's going to record it.
I can't do it.
Do that character. What was the character you were talking about, Tom, that you were going to do?
Roy D. Mercer.
Yeah, do us a take care. God bless.
Howdy, y'all. God bless.
All right.
Take care and good luck.
Here.
Goodbye and good luck. I need to send you that audio, Jeff. I isolated it from the voicemail that I got that said goodbye and good luck.
Who sent that to you?
This
The
guy,
parole
the
officer.
parole officer that was calling for the guy who used to have my phone number.
Oh, you're a parole officer. Okay.
Goodbye and good luck.
And by the way, have you ever noticed that Sarah's always in that same setting? It's because she has an ankle bracelet and she does not leave.
You know what? I actually to be in my kitchen/living room, and I migrated into my desk because I now have a big screen.
Yay.
How big is your screen?
26 inches?
Wow.
I had to think about it.
That's impressive. I would love to have a. Well, never mind.
Since I work from home so much, my work let me bring one home. So.
Oh, nice. You're a telecommuter?
Yes, about 90% of the time.
Wow, that's nice.
Gosh.
Who do you work for again?
Oracle.
Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
Oracle.
I'm sure that you have seen all of the ads for Oracle at the airport frequently. They buy whole walls.
Yeah, they're around.
I haven't been in an airport in a while. I need to take a trip.
Also, we were
Let's
in.
go somewhere.
Oh yeah, let's go somewhere. I'm gonna go to Boston this summer.
Boston.
Hey, Steve, anytime you want to be adventurous, I have buddy passes if you want to use them.
Oh my gosh.
So just keep that in mind.
Wait, why does Steve get them and not anybody else?
Because
Steve is his buddy.
well,
We're not.
Let me no.
You have to be a
Okay.
buddy to get a pass.
Anybody on the panel, if you'd like to try to use a buddy pass.
I don't want your buddy pass.
Okay.
Can
You
I
know
go
what,
to
honestly,
Costa Rica?
See, the reason why I thought that Steve would be, well, actually, no, Steve really is not in any other different boat than anybody else because you do have a full-time job.
Steve
like
is in
everybody else.
sanitation.
But
If you were paying any attention at all.
sewage control.
No, I'm not.
I-
Sort of.
Sort of. But yeah, I was thinking your pre-work existence where you had a lot of flexibility with your time. So Buddy Pass is probably
You
not.
mean when I was unemployed?
Yeah, when you were unemployed. But somebody who is employed and has to be back at a certain time, it's probably not a good idea to use a Buddy Pass.
I have my MiFi device in my laptop. I can work wherever I want.
Well, then that offer is open to anybody that's listening right now. Just contact me.
Perfect. By the way, have you guys ever used one of those MiFis? I got one a couple months back, and it's pretty much the coolest thing ever.
What is a MiFi?
It's it's right here. I have it. It's a Wi-Fi device that's provided by a cellular network. And so all I have to do is take this little thing with me, and I have Wi-Fi for a computer, my iPad, wherever I go.
And it uses
I have
the
that.
4G. Or
It uses the 4G, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got that through Clear, like before they were
Oh,
bought
yeah.
out by Sprint, I think it is. So
But it's kind of expensive, though, isn't it? Or Sarah, does your
Work pays for it. I do think it is pricey, but they pay for my cell phone and a MiFi device, so
that's nice.
saves me a lot of money every month.
See, that'd be nice because I have a Wi-Fi only iPad, and so
Yes.
it's nice to be able to connect it to the internet.
Oh yeah, when I sit at the airport, I can play on my iPad and do stuff, or if I've got my laptop with me, I can do work while I wait to board the plane. It's really nice.
I wonder if that's cheaper than using your phone as a hotspot. Because my iPhone will do it, but you have to set up a special arrangement to do it, and it costs more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have the unlimited, the grandfathered unlimited plan with AT&T, then you can't use it as a hotspot unless you
Right.
jailbreak your phone.
Right.
But if you have any of their other plans, you can. But I don't know how it compares in price, but I think the last time I checked, it was like $60 a month for 5 gigs of.
It's
Oh my
cheaper
gosh.
than that now. I think it's 35 or 40, so it's still expensive. But I would not have it if my work didn't pay for it. It's a luxury, not a necessity.
I remember when Bishop Coyne showed up in Kansas City with his little MiFi and was using it there at the CNMC.
yeah, and everybody was like,
Coolest
everyone
bishop
wanted the
ever. Has
information
his own internet.
His own cloud follows him around. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, well, thanks, kids, for showing up for the show, and everybody in the chat room. Appreciate your presence. Let me see. What are they talking about over there? Anything?
Probably you.
They're planning who's going to use the buddy passes.
Are they?
No.
No.
I have no idea.
Honestly, I really do hate to even mention it to anybody
We're
because.
kidding. We were kidding.
No, I know, but no. The reason why is that in the old days when we used to have like seats available on every flight all the time,
Mhm.
they were great. But now, I mean, have you flown lately?
Mhm.
There are
Yeah.
no empty seats, and
So it's
Buddy Pass
essentially
is like
like
the very-
standby.
it's absolutely it's the lowest priority of standby.
Mm.
I mean,
I could
after,
see it if you're going to a small town where not a lot of people are gonna, travel to. Because that's the only flights that I've been on recently. Like when I went to when I came back from South Bend,
Yay!
there were a lot of empty seats. It was during the week, I think so.
I love South Bend.
Well, I want to go to Costa Rica in January.
and
that's mine.
is that the high season there, where everybody's leaving because it's really cold up here?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're better off buying a ticket.
Oh
It's
yeah, that's
probably-
true. I bet it's really popular during January because it is cold here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when would it not be popular?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You can actually go on like Delta's website, and you can see when flights are more popular and not based off of frequent flyer miles and how much you have to cash in for that. And so it's a really great way to figure out like how much ticket prices are going to fluctuate, because if you're cashing in frequent flyer miles and you can get on the lowest level, likely that means there's more open seats. So that's a good gauge also.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Well, I know that spring break is big for people going to Central America on alternative spring break trips and things. Because we always had trouble getting, we had to plan. We'd have to start booking tickets in November to go in March.
And also the rub with the Buddy Pass is that you actually have to pay a fee, like a per mile fee, to use the pass. So not only are you paying for it, you may not actually get on the airplane. So it's like one of those things that it can be a huge benefit. You can like fly to Europe sometimes and even get upgraded to business class for hardly anything compared to the price of a normal ticket. On the other hand, trying to get to South Bend, you may be stuck there for 3 or 4 days before you can get home. I mean, it's possible. So.
Yay, flying! Woohoo!
Yeah, flying.
I don't want to see a plane for another month.
Me neither.
Did you not like international travel? I love it.
We were the flight coming back from Rome wasn't bad, but we were waiting to leave Charlotte. We were in a 5-hour delay because they found something wrong with the engine. So I'm kind of glad they didn't take off. But no, we were sitting there, and like 4 hours after, as we're sitting there, they come back. We found a plane in the hangar. You couldn't have looked in the hangar 3 hours ago. But anywho, I digress.
Jeff's rolling his eyes.
let's talk when you've done a 22-hour trip to Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. We should have Father Kyle on to talk about his 20-something hour trip to Uganda. No, the other Father Kyle.
Actually, that Father Kyle is going to the Holy Land.
I know. I saw that. I'd love to go with that.
I know, with Jeff Young, the Catholic foodie.
That would be a fun trip.
Yep. That's fun.
All right. Well,
that's on the top of my bucket list of places to visit is the Holy Land. Never been.
Well, I feel a lull.
We're lulling.
Yeah. Time to...
I'm getting really hungry. I don't know if you can hear. My stomach's been growling for the last half hour.
No. Yeah, good stomach growling rejection on that microphone.
Good. It's a special filter.
Jeez.
All right, kids. I'm going to leave. So
bye.
I'm going to stop the broadcast. Thank you again, everybody in the chat room, for hanging out with us this Saturday morning, and have a great week. And Lynn, thanks for taking the notes, and we'll talk to y'all later.